Do you want to tell us more about yourself and what you do?
So Victor Ooko is my name. Currently working in the marketing and communications space.
Yeah.
So ideally in marketing and communications, what we do is that we try as much as possible to create awareness
Yeah.
for brand.
Yeah.
And then through this awareness, enhance revenue generation for these brands that you work with. So I'm working full time currently as marketing and communications manager at Standard Investment Bank, which handles investment locally. So ideally, it's a company that has been there since 1995. Investment. So if you want to maybe invest in government bonds,
Yeah.
that's what we call fixed income, treasury bills and bonds. If you want to invest in stocks, if you want to buy shares of companies in Kenya, then you can come to us as well. And then finally, if you want to invest or to get exposure into markets outside of Kenya, then we have products that are able to diversify your investment or your investment portfolio into markets outside of Kenya and Africa as well. So that's where I'm primarily stationed, but I also run a marketing agency on the side, which offers both, it's a sales and marketing agency called Shupav. So what Shupav does is ideally work with other brands outside there, which are also looking to boost their revenues through sales or through marketing optimized. So ideally, that's what we do. So I do that on a full time, and I also have run a farm on the side that also does the same for other companies outside there.
Ah, so what made you choose this line of work?
I believe this line I chose me because of my personality. In school, I studied sociology. So initially, I would venture into the NGO world, but then things changed because after campus, I had a huge passion because in campus I was a student. So I used to communicate a lot through social media. And there's a power in communicating via social media. Ideally, what I didn't know was that was actually marketing and communications because I was selling myself, selling my union, while still being able to communicate our agenda and exactly what we were delivering for students. So I was just able to transition that into work because it was a passion, being able to utilize these platforms to communicate value. So translating that into now actual work when I began internship in one of the reputable firms in Kenya, and then just that's how now so I can say that it was more about my personality fitting into the role because I had never looked at it in terms of something that I would be able to venture into as a career.
And what skills are crucial in succeeding in your line of business?
For me, and I think the most important skill is usually emotional intelligence. I think that's something that I don't know whether you can be taught to learn. You have to experience it. Because if you're emotionally intelligent, then it means that you're able to understand the next person. We see marketing and communication is about understanding the next person. So if you're able to understand the next person and what their needs are, then you'll be in better placed to push products, services that they require their way. And you are also going to be able to communicate in a language that they're able to understand. So I believe emotional intelligence, critical thinking, because in our work, creative industry, so you have on thinking and revising and reviewing each and everything that's been done to be able to come up with solutions that then work for brands. So you're not a lot of things. Again, you're going to be able to. You'll have to test. You'll have to theorize and test your strategies whether or not they are working. If it's a digital marketing strategy and you're targeting users of mobile phones that are between ages of 75, you see that very specific thing that you're doing, and these platforms are enable you to be able to reach these target audiences. If, for example, you're working with a revenue target of say 100 million a month, and you're pushing a digital marketing strategy which is spending a given amount of a budget, let's say 1 million shillings a month, and you're targeting to generate 100 million a month, you will be able to track and see where you get to at the end of the month in terms of what amount of revenue has been brought. And how does this then communicate to the strategy that you're employing? How many people are seeing your presence online. How many people are actually interacting with your platforms when they see your presence online? How many inquiries are you getting? And what deal pipeline, what conversations are ongoing in the deal pipeline to ensure that the business then is able to get revenue. So these are very deliberate things that you do on a daily basis to be able to ensure that you achieve your end goal.
And in your current role, how is it like being a manager and a CEO at the same time of your company?
So yes, I'm a manager on this one side, and yes, it's a lot of work. See, it's not a one-man show. You have to work with a team to be able to deliver on your mandate. So it's more about empowering your team even more so that they can think outside the box. They can, before they come to you with problems, they need to have thought of alternative solutions. They will need to have come up with, okay, so yes, I'm going to see my manager with this, but then this is what I think is the solution to it. So maybe we are going to brainstorm it further so that I can get the okay to implement it. So emotional intelligence, critical thinking is very important all through. So we do not want, since someone has gone through, for example, university, you've gone to university from year 1 to year 4, you are maybe even a school captain in your school, or you are a leader in your high school. So you are an adult, you're someone who is becoming a fully fledged adult. So the only difference between one person and the other is how much what goes into whatever they do, and then how they see it through. Because thinking is one thing, seeing something through is another thing. So I empower my team to be able to think through and also see through each and everything that they do. So when we do that, and so long as I've done my proper training, then I believe and I trust them to be able to execute their mandate. If there are issues, they will sit down, discuss them, rectify any areas where for their issues, and then we move on. But it's about empowering your team, because it's not about you, it's about your brand. And you should be able to have that continuity. So the only way you can have that continuity is by empowering people that you work with to be able to then keep on creating and delivering. On this other side, personally, I'm in charge of business development. So my partner is in charge of the day-to-day managing, the CEO role, whereby now they're in charge of the day-to-day. Because you see, for me, I have both sides. So because I'm an outgoing person, I meet other people, whether it's other business leaders who are also looking for solutions that we offer as a company. I focus more on the business development side, while my partner runs the day-to-day. So with that, I'm then able to also still concentrate on what I do on for this other brand, so that we ensure that my department is then able to excel and deliver value for the business. So that's how we are able to manage the two.
And what inspires you about your job?
My job is about giving solutions. Giving solutions to both the brands that you work with and the end consumer. Because I believe when you're on a day-to-day, sometimes you might not realize it, but there are things that are happening out here that might be of value to us as individuals. So if I'm able to deliver a solution, I'm able to deliver value to my customers, who are the brands that we serve, or to the end consumer who is going to utilize or to use the products of the brands that we serve, then it means that we are delivering value. And as individuals, personally, for example, I'll be able to grow through my career. On this other business side, my business is also going to be able to grow, and maybe even employ other people who will then be able to get value out of everything that we do. So ultimately, everyone wants value. You don't want a friend who is not valuable. You see, when you're with someone else, you want to see, what am I getting out of this? What am I giving? So if you're able to deliver value, then for me, that is able to give me a smile at the end of the day, because I know that it was not a wasted effort. The value is evident, it can be measured, it can be seen. Yes.
And what growth opportunities are in your line of work?
There is so much growth opportunity, which is reliant on how much individuals look to grow themselves. Because there is no output without input. Yes, you have undertaken, for example, a degree or a diploma course, right? Or you just started or you just started self-learned about, let's say, for example, marketing online, and then you're trying to practice it. You still have to have some value addition through networking. You see, value addition. The marketing and communication spaces evolves a lot. So you should always look at getting additional skills that can then enable you to remain competitive in this job market. Don't say, for example, that for me, I'm a videographer in the marketing and communication space, so I can do videos and that's it. Try to learn an extra skill like graphic design, which can then complement what you do in videography, and then you're able then to deliver exemplary content. If you're a graphic designer on this other side, try to learn additional skills like that can then enable you to become much more. Because yes, you can be a videographer today, but in a year or 2 years, you can be a creative director who is able now to work now with other videographer and other creatives to be able to deliver solution. If you're a digital marketer, for example, on this side, then today, let's say, for example, you're just a social media manager, but you can evolve and then be able to manage other aspects of digital marketing apart from just social media management. You can be able to learn, for example, and execute or even supervise other people who are playing other roles within the digital marketing space. So you always have to look at it in terms of getting new skills, of course, perfecting what you're doing to become even better, but then also learning new skills so that you keep on. Some of these roles, when you repeat them a lot, they get boring. And for creatives get bored a lot. Personally, I get bored a lot. So the only way that I can ensure that I stay interested in what I'm doing is by getting small challenges day in, day out as you go. And the only way you can do that is by endeavoring to get new skills on the job to improve yourself and to also improve the value that you're then able to deliver to your customers or to the businesses that you serve.
And from what you just said, what impact do you think your business has on the society?
I think our business has the impact of educating society because number one, by creating awareness, you get to know of the existence of particular brands. These brands, remember, they are built by people who are also entrepreneurs, right?
Yes.
So these people are also looking to deliver value to the end user, to create employment, right?
Yes.
And these are values that you're getting in society. So by ensuring that we are boosting the revenues of these brands, then we know that then they stand a good chance of maybe even improving on the quality of their products, or even expanding and employing even more Kenyans, which then also translates into improving standards of living. Because if you're able to make a living out of these brands, then it is a contribution towards society. So I think for us, we are all about ensuring that we, number one, create awareness of this brand, educate end users about these brands and the products that they deliver, while at the same time boosting revenues of these brands so that they can be able to be much more for the societies and for their end consumers.
Oh, and how rewarding do you think your job is? Like, what type of satisfaction or fulfillment do you get from it?
I think I've alluded to the first one, which means that I'm happy when I feel like I've delivered value and I can see it. I'll give an example of Standard Investment Bank, where we're able to give investment solutions and investment advice to investors who are looking to grow their revenue capacity or to grow their income capacity. Because actively, as well, for example, you're a business person, you've committed capital in a business, and you're actively managing it. Another way of actively getting income is by, for example, you are employed, you go to work on a daily basis to ensure that you earn a living. But then passively as well, for example, you've saved some money, you've now, instead of now just saving it, because saving money does not grow it, it preserves it.
Yes.
So this money, you put it in an investment vehicle, which is then able to ensure that at the end of the year, this amount of money has given you 10, 15, or 20% additional value. You see? So I think there is so much satisfaction that comes out of being able to deliver that for either the end user or also ensuring that businesses get value.
Okay. And how does your business affect your family and social life?
I mean, through networking is how, for example, you're able to get business, especially as an entrepreneur. Through networking, whereby you're able to meet other business leaders, you're able to attend social gatherings, and then be able to have one-on-one interactive sessions in terms of what you do and maybe the value that you can be able to give this other person. Because like I said, we have a lot of solutions, but then very many people don't even know they need them, or they don't even know that you offer them in the first place. We normally say that you have very huge networks that might not know what we do. Because if you're utilizing social media as a space, for example, not everyone is going to be on social media. Not everyone is of value, or not everyone who can give you the value that you deserve is available on social media. So it might not be enough. So for me, I can say that yes, the social part of it is taken care of, because it's not all work and no play.
Yeah.
You have to meet and interact with friends and colleagues, but then you still have to make time for family and say that I dedicate this amount of time. So this time around, there is no business, no nothing, just concentrating on family, so that you're able to balance the two. But once in a while, of course, it's going to overlap, because especially if you're an entrepreneur, then you cannot say that this time now I'm no longer taking any additional business. You can get a call anytime, and then you're like, hey, let me sort this out, because it also makes things better for my family. So it's all about being able to realize, to look at it and say that this is what works for me. So this is how I'm going to ensure that my family also gets value for myself as a family person.
And in your line of work, what do you think people misunderstand about it?
I think there's, first of all, a lot of people don't understand the difference between sales and marketing. Because when you say you're a marketer, someone thinks you're a salesperson.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you say you are a salesperson, someone thinks you're a marketer. So I think the first thing is just the misunderstanding between the two lines, because marketing is the strategy and sales is now the conversion. The conversion is the sales bit. Marketing is creating awareness and ensuring that you're also able to get feedback to improve on your products, while sales is bringing in and maintaining the business that has come in. I think that's the first thing. And then secondly, and it's something that I am usually very passionate about communicating about. A lot of businesses think that they can do without marketing, or they think that maybe marketing is very expensive. It's a cost center, so you can do without it. When you look at brands like Coca-Cola, which are world renowned, they still spend a lot of money in advertising, despite the fact that they have the largest market share and their brand is easily recognizable. But why are they still spending money, which they have been doing for over a century? Why are they spending money in marketing? You see, so we can say that you cannot do without marketing. It is essential to growing a brand. It's essential to ensuring that your brand reaches new market, because each and every day there'll be new people who will be interacting or getting to love your product more, depending on how well you communicate its value. So marketing is crucial, and for individuals or even company boards that feel that marketing is a cost center that doesn't generate revenue, then it's time that they thought that, because there is no output without input. Yeah.
Oh, and what advice would you give somebody who is joining your field?
You have to be ready you have to be, number one, very dynamic. And you have to be ready to learn, because this is not a flat career of choice. This is a career that keeps on evolving. So you have to be ready to keep on learning new trends, what is happening. Yesterday, billboards was the in thing. If you're on a billboard, you know your company is doing well. Nowadays, you'll have companies that are growing without even a single billboard. You see, that shows you that this space is growing and it is evolving a lot. So you have to be ready to learn new skills. You have to be ready to, don't say that I'm only a marketer, so that's the only thing I'll do, because all these lines intertwine. Marketing will intertwine with sales, it will intertwine with client service, because when I'm selling a product and when someone buys it, then they are finding that I have a poor quality of product, then client service is what will be able to salvage that for us, because the client will say that you're marketing false information, you see. So I'll be back to my client service and be like, product development, why is it that the product that we're pushing out, we're getting feedback that it's substandard? So that shows you that these are lines that are intertwined. So you have to be dynamic, and you have to be ready to learn so that you can improve, get better, and deliver value.
Oh, and what else would you like to add? Anything about your work?
The only other thing that I would like to add
Yeah.
Maybe is that, and especially generally for maybe young people, you don't get rich without putting in the work.
Yeah.
You have to put in the work at
Yeah.
all times. You have to show that I'm an expert at this. And I think what makes marketing exciting is that it's a creative space.
Yeah.
So if you're really looking at having fun while delivering on your mandate, then this is a space that you can definitely explore. You don't necessarily need to go to college and study marketing.
Yeah.
You can transition from being a journalist to being a very good digital marketer, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, personally in my department, I have hired 2 journalists who are actually doing a very good job at delivering value for my department. So you can see it does not matter what, for example, you went to campus and studied. What campus gives you is the ability to think.
Yeah.
And to be able to be malleable, like you're able to learn new things and transform into something else.
Yeah.
You cannot be static and say that, hey, I studied chemistry. That's because where I work, the head of distribution, for example, studied analytical chemistry, while he's in charge of sales. You can see he's in charge of sales for an investment company, while on their end, while in school, he studied analytical chemistry. So that shows you that what you study, for example, in campus does not necessarily define what you can become. Look more towards your personality. Are you an outgoing person? Or are you a quiet person? Because either way, both personalities will enable you to deliver value and then be able to grow yourself. So focus more inward first of all. Look at what you really want to achieve. It doesn't matter what course you've studied, so long as you really have an interest and you're keen on learning new things to see it through.